Last time, we brought Curioshire some charming countryside perks for the arrival of our new artisan residents, featuring a village hatter, dressmaker, and local bistro. Today, we're giving Curioshire some big updates. We've upgraded to town status, unveiling a brand new townsfolk need for public service buildings, from newspaper stands to schools. We built our first chapel complete with a spooky graveyard, and place our village pub in the centre of town using the new crops from Tier 3 of the farming menu, while a village funfair and hedgerow maze add some much needed joy to the residents of our growing town. So sit back, relax, and let's build in town to city. And if you're enjoying this series, hit the like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already so you won't miss out on future episodes. And without further ado, let's continue on. Welcome everyone to a brand new day in Curioshire. Now you might be thinking, that train station looks a little bit big, and that's because I've gone away off camera and reached the town campaign, which is first for me. I've never seen these buildings and there's lots of exciting unlockables, including a brand new townsfolk need, which is for the public service. So we'll be adding some schools and chapels over time. And I've also reached Tier 3 of the farming menu, which has unveiled a brand new line of crops and also the all-inclusive pub. So it's lots of exciting things coming to my playthrough of Town to City. I think in this part I'm going to fill in the gaps of Curioshire by adding a chapel and also a pub. We'll need to connect that pub with a farm with all the produce. So I'm going to show you the spot where we're going to place the chapel, and then we can get into build mode. Now I think this is the perfect spot to have the chapel. We created a nice little waterside front with some gravestones and some seating area. And I've actually taken out a few of the details that we had in the last part, which was a slide, and also we had some beeswax in the front part of this little plot of land. So without further ado, let's get into build mode and let's create a charming village chapel. And this is our first chapel of Curioshire. I'm really happy with how the detailing came out, and I also love the detailing of this building itself with the stained glass window, and that bell moves when the game's playing, so that's a nice little animation. But I'll just give you a mini tour of what we've done. So I did a mixture of flowers, including a water feature at the front. I did a spooky cellar, and speaking of spooky, added some creepy mist to the game. I forgot that I had this in the decoration menu, so I think it really helps with the atmosphere of this graveyard. And placed a few benches around here, so it should look really kind of atmospheric at night. I'm really happy with the detailing of this. And I think it really lends itself to what we did right at the front, Water's Edge. So that's the first new addition to Curioshire. Let's move on to the pub. Now I want to place the pub right in front of the train station, which is fairly common actually for a lot of English villages. I wanted it to feel very central to the town, so all the townsfolk and the visitors can come and enjoy a pint or two. Now, it's actually a fairly big building, and unfortunately we're going to have to scrap some of our poor sheep in this area, which is a bit unfortunate, but needs must. I thought potentially this building would look a little bit more traditional, and it's kind of giving Mediterranean vibes, but I think that's fine. Certainly lends itself to the area, so I think I'm going to place it around here. Let's get that built, and then we can get into build mode and start detailing the area. Now we finally have a pub in Curioshire, which is very exciting, but in order for it to be operable, we need to place down a farm with the correct crops. And we have some unusual requirements. We need 75 hops, which makes sense for beer, but also 25 potatoes, 25 tomatoes, and 25 lettuce. Now I'm not quite sure what ale Curishire's resident pub is producing, but it's giving artisan, I'm not going to lie. So let's sweep over to the farmlands and place a brand new farm, shall we? Okay, we just put some initial detailing down in our multi-crop farm, and if my calculations are correct, we should have enough crops now for the pub to be operable. So let's see if that's the case, shall we? Now I've added some workers to the pub, and the final step is to add the crop supply. And there we are, we've got a pub in Curioshire. There's lots of happy faces over there, which is very good to know. Now I'm gonna just skip forward to a bit of better daylight, and then we can talk about next steps. Now we've got this little patch of land where I'd like to place down a village funfair, and I'm drawing inspiration from the place where I live actually, where we have a church and a regular rotation of funfairs that come throughout the year. So let's get into build mode, and let's add some happiness to our townsfolk of Curioshire. So this is the village funfair in all its glory. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and while I was decorating I unlocked the autumnal decorations and also the newspaper stand, so place those in the world, which I'll definitely pepper around Curioshire. Just to give you an overview of what we've added. Did a little hedgerow maze with a spooky scarecrow, a few bales of hay and some pumpkins. Didn't want to make it too autumnal, but I thought it was appropriate for something that's connecting to a funfair. And then just landscaped the initial entrance. I really love the fencing with all the fairy lights, and as you can see in the nighttime it adds some really charming atmosphere. And then, yeah, placed all our funfair details, including a stage and some entertainment stalls, so it's going to bring a lot of joy to the people of Curioshire. So I'm going to leave things on this shot. Thank you so much for joining me. If you do like this video, please give it a like and leave me a lovely comment down below. And you can also search my name, Curiopher, on YouTube for other cozy building games. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.